Hello, everybody. Today I am talking about Vimshottari Dasha Masterclass, and we are talking Surya, the sun. So, the sun, Vimshottari Dasha, and the Bhuktis in the Sun Dasha, what to expect, how to deal with it. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking about the Sun Dasha. And do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. This is part of the Vimshottari Mahadasha Masterclass, and you don't want to miss any bit of it. So, we are continuing this today with Surya, the Sun. And the Sun Mahadasha is the shortest Mahadasha. And so we have only 6 years of the Mahadasha. And so you will start with the Sun Dasha if your moon is in Krittika, Uttara Phalguni, or Uttara Ashadha. But otherwise, you can get the Sun Dasha at different parts of your time. So, what is the importance of the Sun? Sun is your soul, it is the power, it is what you are, your identity, your health, your ego on a more material level. It what drives you. So when you are going into Sun Dasha, it means that your last Dasha was Venus. So always, as I explained to you, that the start of the Dasha is very important because you're coming into a total new phase of energy. Now, so you have to think in your chart, what is the houses the Sun rules? Where is it's placed? What houses? Generally, sixth, eighth, and 12th houses are difficult placements for the Sun. However, sixth house Sun is not so negative, but eighth and 12th is not the easiest because one of the qualities of the Sun is that Sun doesn't like change. He wants to do the same thing all the time. He's the king, he's the powerful one. And you see, when people are in power, they give instructions, do this, do that. They don't do much themselves, but they are there and they are organizing everything. So, therefore, in any house where Sun has to exert himself more, he doesn't feel happy. So, even sixth house, although he is strong in the sixth house and he can certainly, face opposition or competition or enemies, but he doesn't like it. Means because house is house of change, unexpected transformation. So events can happen during the Sun Dasha where you have no control over. The 12th house is loss. So especially if you are running a business and you are doing something at that time, then it can be loss. It can be loss of self. It can be going abroad, loss of home, depending on also what house the Sun rules in your chart. The house rulership is very important because that is the area that Sun is getting affected. But Sun is also Karaka for father, for power, for health. So those areas also you can look at. So one of the things that happens in Sun Dasha is because the fixed nature of Sun, sometimes you don't do much in the Sun Dasha because you just feel, okay, I'm just doing, it's happening, it should happen, I don't need to exert. So you have to make a conscious effort to exert yourself during the Sun Dasha. Then what are the conjunctions Sun has? Is it conjoined Saturn, Rahu, Ketu? These are the difficult conjunctions. Others are okay. Mars is his friend, so he doesn't suffer so much. Planets getting too close to him. Other than Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu, the Sun gets empowered. The planets lose their energy because they get combust, but Sun gets the power from there. But there are other positions of Sun. If Sun is in Gandanta, then that is an unsettled dasha period. So, is it in Sandhi? Sandhi is okay. Sometimes you see when a planet is in Sandhi, is changing signs. It can be the highest degree planet in your chart, so it's Atma Karaka. So you have to really pay attention to every quality of the sun. How is it placed in the Navamsha chart? What is the house it is with? What are the planets that are placed with? Generally, Sage Parashar feels that when a planet is exalted or own sign, that planet is always going to deliver. So sun exalted own sign means the Karaka is strong. So Karakas of the sun become strong. And he has particularly mentioned that debilitated planets, so debilitated in Libra. Now, enemy sign is something that gets ignored a lot. But planets in enemy sign mean they're unsettled in what they're doing. They're in uncomfortable positions. So you could see sun in Capricorn Aquarius is not the best position for it. So then, of course, you can look at the different Vargas where it is. And it is important to check what is the strength of the sun. So don't just go by debilitated, exalted. You have to look at Shadbala, which is the six-fold strength. You have to look at Vimshopaka, which is the strength in the Vargas. You can also look at Visheshikamsha. Does he get some special quality in it? Then what are the yogas for the sun? There are many yogas, Vasavesi, Ubhayachari yogas. You have to study something more. I will do the yoga sometime, but at present I'm going to concentrate on the Vimshottari. And then in the Vargas, where is he weak? What area is strong? So no planet is totally negative, but you have to kind of think, and I like to think of it as make a list of the plus points and the minus points. And then you have to think, I am for the next 6 years in Sun Dasha. So what is the best remedy I can do for the Sun Dasha? Sun, you can do Surya Namaskar, salutation to the sun, Aditya Hridayam, which is a chant to the sun. You can do the sun Nama mantra, Gayatri mantra. I'm just making the sun Gayatri mantra, so you will get I will put a link to that. And you can think about otherwise, what are the common sense remedies of the sun? Sun is regular in his habits, his sunrise, sunset. It's going to sleep at night. It's going to wake up in the morning. It shines its light on everybody. So regularize your habits, Think about your lifestyle choices. Are you having some crazy lifestyle? What time you're eating your food, what time you're doing. So think about yourself like the sun. Enjoy some nature, take some sunlight. Early morning sun is very good. So be very conscious about taking those qualities. Donation of wheat, that is the grain for the sun. You can donate bread or wheat or roti even. Some poor person can be fed, do some good deeds. That will be a good remedy for it. There are, karma yoga, selfless service, your attitude of how you do things that you're giving to other people. Sun is generous, so be generous. You're never generous what you can't afford, but you do those qualities. And then remember that the end of Sun Dasha, your Sun Venus, which is the last part of Sun Dasha, it's a time of transition for you. That is your Chidra Dasha, especially right at the end. I like to tell my clients that as you're ending, be aware, but right at the end, you're hyper conscious of what decisions you're making, what things you're doing. And that is an important factor. So what about the bhuktis or antaras? The two ways of calling the sub-dashas, the second level of dasha. Now, bhukti means to experience. So often the power of the dasha is in the bhukti. So it is also called antara, which means inner circle. So what is the outer and inner circle running? So when you're analyzing dasha and antara, then you want to see that where it is placed from the sun. That is most important, where the planet is placed from the sun and what is the relationship of the planet. I always look at the natural relationships, and then you can also look at temporary relationships. So sun dasha, that is when the intensity of the sun experience is there. That is, as soon as it starts, is not very long. And actually, the Dasha Lord acts through its first Dasha, most important time of the Dasha, when the experience is pure. And so whatever the sun has to do will be from the sun. Sun Dasha. So Sun Dasha and Sun Antara. Then Sun Moon. Moon is a satellite of the sun, takes the light from the sun. Generally, this is a good energy, but moon is way more wayward and unsettled. So you have to also look at what houses does moon rule, what is moon's condition. That is the same rules that I told you earlier. You have to see what is the Antara Lord doing. But sun moon, that is generally a good. Sun Mars, also good. Mars and sun are friends with each other. They are powerful, companions. Mars will work for the sun. So even, again, you have to see how they are placed, what is their strength of Mars and his ability to deliver. Then we look at Sun Rahu. Now, usually for Sun, Rahu and Ketu dashas are more complicated because Rahu is a great enemy of the sun. He wants to overshadow the sun and doesn't let the sun work, his own quality work with it. So that is a thing to watch out for always, Sun Rahu. And not to take any extreme things. You have to maintain your purity, your clarity, and Rahu can mislead you. So that is where you have to be careful. Then Sun Jupiter. Jupiter is the guru of Sun. So that is a good dasha, generally will be good and powerful for you. And when dasha and Antara Lord are friends, it's sort of a smooth running of the dasha. Even if both those planets are not good from your Lagna, if dasha and Antara Lords are good, you find that it's got some alchemy to it and it's good. Then Sun Saturn, they are enemies. Always Saturn will try to crush your ego, will try to put you down. But of course, if for your Lagna, Saturn is a good planet and Sun is not a good planet for your Lagna, then you may find that Saturn can uplift you, give you hard work, responsibility. Remember, Saturn wants the sun not just to be sitting on his throne, do some work. And sun doesn't like to do that. So during Saturn Dasha, take your responsibility, do the unpleasant tasks as well. That will be good. Sun Mercury. Now from Sun, actually, from Leo Lagna, if you see, Mercury rules the two houses of money. Sun, Mercury always together. So you have to see, is Mercury close to the Sun? Are they together? That is important factor to see. Is the Mercury combust? What are the houses Mercury rules from the Sun as well as from the Lagna? And then you see after Mercury comes Ketu. Ketu is always very complicated for the sun. So it's about a 6-month dasha, and you do need to be careful because Ketu and Sun, again, Rahu Sun, Sun Rahu, and Sun Ketu, these are the two complicated dashas. And so be very careful. You may feel like giving up everything. You may feel your ego being attacked, your identity being attacked during that time, and unsettled energy. And the last bhukti is, or Antara is Sun Venus. And Venus is always about letting indulgence a little bit for the sun. It is also the last dasha, so it's coming into Chidra dasha. So you need to be conscious of that period, that things are changing now. You're going to go into the moon dasha next. So things are not, also the difference of the dashas is from sun you go to moon. The moon is all very emotional and changeable. Sun is very static and sober and doing the same thing. So there's a restlessness as you move towards the end of Sun Venus Dasha. Venus is also about relationships. Venus also debilitates the Sun. So what I mean by debilitation is in sign of Libra, Sun is debilitated. So that is ruled by Venus. So therefore, this is not the best time for the Sun Dasha. And so we should take the balancing act. One more important thing when you're judging the Sun Dasha is that you make the Sun the Lagna. So we have this concept of Surya Lagna anyway. So checking your chart from Surya Lagna. But you put the chart, put the Sun in the Lagna position, rotate the chart and see which planets are negatively placed from the Sun. So any planets in Dusthana from the Sun. So let's say your Sun is in Leo and you're in Sun Dasha. But your Saturn is in Capricorn, which is the sixth house. So Sun, Saturn, Dasha, they are enemies, but they are 6-8 from each other as well. So the Sun, Saturn, Dasha will be way more complicated than just Sun, let's say, Saturn is in the 10th house and in Taurus, where he's going to give career and work related situations. So that is another factor to see. So what are the planets that go into Dusthana? And if many planets are in Dusthana from the Sun, then you know that during this period, there will be quite a lot of instability, but also that you need to do the remedies for this dasha, because this is the time that has come to do the remedy. So each of the antaras that come, which are suppose Sun, Saturn, you know that Saturn is in the 6th house from the Sun. So he's going to bring some obstacles, even though 6th house is quite okay for Saturn, but you have to think, no, even though Saturn is in its own sign, you are honoring that Saturn transit, but it will bring some opposition, some difficulty. If you're judging your own chart, sometimes you think the worst possible scenario, but you have to just be aware of it. You can get a second opinion of how you think about this transit, but generally be conscious of that. I think that is a most important thing. Check the Varga positions. You want to check the strength of Sun, what Varga's Sun is strong. Especially you want to check Sun's strength in Navamsha for career, the Shamsha, the other Varga positions, you can look it up. You want to see the Shadbala of the Sun, the Vimshopaka, Ashtakavarga strength. All these are giving you different strengths to work with. And if all three are strong, then your Sun is very powerful. And do watch out, because sometimes if you have a strong Sun, it gives a strong ego as well. So, and if you have a weak Sun, you feel, oh, I'm no confidence and you can't make a decision. But either extreme can be complicated. So do watch out for that as well. Secondly, you also will look at the chart from moon's point of view. All dashas have to be studied from the moon lagna point of view. So look at where the Sun is going from the moon. So if Sun is in a difficult position, so 3 charts are studied actually: lagna, moon lagna and sun lagna. Sun lagna is also the dasha lord as the lagna lord, and moon lagna and lagna. So these 3 things are giving you a diverse point of view and making you understand the energy. And of course, I always feel that every year we should have a plan of action of remedies and doing something good for the world and helping others. So think about regularizing yourself following the rhythm of the sun, rhythm of the seasons. Also eat according to seasons. Like now it's summer here, so certain fruits and vegetables are in season. So don't try to eat out of season. Follow a bit of an Ayurvedic lifestyle. All those things will be helpful. So I again want to ask you that if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and then I will have a separate video at a later date where I will be addressing those comments. And watch out for the following videos also. Sometimes, if it is appropriate, I'll address it in that too. Thank you very much. All the best.